Good everyone, welcome aboard. June 23rd, 2010. My name is Joseph James. Welcome to our live trading recap brought to you by SchoolTrade.com. We had another wonderful day, of course. Happy Fed Day to all of you guys. Before we talk about the trades we took today, I want to remind you guys below the video, there's a link to our blog. Now guys, we just added a brand new page to our blog. It's called the Trade Room Resources. We post all of our notes there. We got some handy videos there so you guys can follow along with us in the trade room. So look on the blog right now, a brand new section called Trade Room Resources. All right, guys, check the link out. It's right below the video. Let's see here, 2, 4, 6 total trades. Everything pretty much fell right into place this morning. We knew exactly what to expect for FOMC day. We'll talk more about that in a second here. 82 ticks though, 850 USD. That brings our weekly total to 2725. Monthly total just shy of 15,000 now. Now, what's the most important thing that happened today? Well, again, today was Fed Day, FOMC Day. This is, of course, when the Federal Open Market Committee meets and they release what usually is some very important information about what's likely happening in the economy right now, and it also includes interest rate changes. So we expect, of course, high volume in the morning, lots of opportunity early in the day, but then about 10:45 to 11 o'clock, price action begins to slow down. We then begin to see this sideways, what I call kind of a fluttering of price into that 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time news today. This morning we saw the euro go into a wedge pattern. We saw some lagging momentum on some of the trades you're looking for, which basically kind of showed us that we still had this ongoing concern about what was going to come out at 2:15. So we expect that because FOMC day is here, we expect that because at 2:15 today we're going to get an announcement about the interest rates and about the overall health of the economy here in the U.S., we expect a lot of people will probably be sitting on their hands waiting for after 2:15. Now, we always start the day with our dollar, and the dollar is going to give us a good idea of what's going to happen the rest of the morning here. Now, guys, start first in the lower right-hand corner. Lower right-hand corner, this is my slower time frame, and you'll notice, of course, we have this downward trend from last week, but then we have this, right, goes off to a sideways trading range, double tops, double bottoms, and of course, this is on my slower time frame chart. Okay, slow time frame chart there. Now let's zoom out though, and now let's look over at the fast time frame, because the fast time frame is really what tells us the story here, right? Because the fast time frame, now on the slow time frame, I can tell obviously there's a sideways market there, but it's much easier. Look at the fast time frame. Okay, so here's my fast chart now, and on my fast chart, okay, this is an 8 range. You can see, of course, double tops, double bottoms, right? Flat trigger line. It's a sideways range, sideways market. So we look at the slow time frame first. If you can't tell what it looks like in the slow time frame, use the fast time frame. That will confirm here on the dollar this morning we had a sideways range going. So sideways range in the dollar, that means sideways range in everything else. And we talked about the fact that we saw a wedge pattern today on the euro. Now guys, this is exactly what we want to avoid, and this really confirmed for us the euro might be a little bit tough on us today. You'll notice the left side of the screen here. The left side was right when we began to open up our charts, right about 8 a.m. Okay, so at 8 a.m. this morning, we see this wedge pattern, right? And basically what it is it's a trend line coming down, it's a trend line going up, right? And so we expect price, to chop around inside of this area, right? So we want to avoid that area. And ultimately the goal is that we want to either break up to the highs, right, or break down to buy the lows, right? We'll sell the highs and we'll buy the lows. Okay, so that's going to be the easiest way when you see this wedge pattern. Avoid the middle and wait for the breakout to the extremes. All right, but however though, that didn't happen very well here on the euro. You can see now in the lower right hand corner here, okay, this now fast forward an hour, you can see, right, it kept chopping around inside of here. Now what happened was towards the end of the morning, it finally broke and went to the downside, and we'll show you guys more about that here in a second, right? But this is what we saw today, though, guys, here on the wedge. It's called a wedge pattern, and again, it's 2 trend lines, right? 2 trend lines, and those 2 trend lines are going to contain price. We need to make sure we define this stuff, because then we're going to wait for it to break out. Now, we saw it break out, and that was our, let's say, 4th trade of the morning here, and we made some pretty good money on it, right? But this is how it's set up. Okay, so avoid trading in the middle of that wedge pattern. Wait for it to break out. Buy the lows, sell the highs. All right, guys, that was the wedge pattern. Now, let's get moving here. Let's take a look at the trades we took today. Now, we took a couple on crude, one on euro, one on the S&P, nothing on gold today. Now the first 3 trades here were all on crude. Now I want to move my focus though first to the lower right hand corner here. Now I want you guys to notice here we have a head and shoulders pattern here. Now this is kind of a sloping down head and shoulders pattern here, but you can see we have the neckline, right? We have there's your head, there's your shoulders. Okay, so there's your head and shoulders pattern, right? Down to the neckline, up to the head, back down to the neckline, up to the head, right? So there's your head and shoulders. So we knew, of course, with that head and shoulders pattern like that, we knew 2 things, right? The first thing I knew was once I break below this area, that would be A, great trading opportunity, but B, the second thing, is that directly below that area, we're probably going to see some pretty choppy price action. Okay, so what we know is around the head and shoulders pattern, it gets very choppy because rookies are trying to jump in early, right? Big money buyers and sellers are competing over price control. So around the break, right? And what we found out was that it was between 77 even and 76.88, right? Those were our levels we had to worry about. 77 was a big round number, and then all the way down to 88, we had support at 88, 86. So again, 2 things about this head and shoulders pattern. We knew when we broke that head and shoulders pattern, right? Those first couple 10 to 15 ticks are going to be real rocky, really volatile, because people are trying to jump in early to push this thing down. So we need to wait, get through that head and shoulders pattern break, and then look for a high quality pattern afterwards. So I'm not trying to be the first person to short this break of the head and shoulders pattern, right? I don't want to be the first one in, nor the last one. I want to be somewhere in the middle. Okay, so we knew we had a great opportunity, but we knew the opportunity also might just take our head off if we try to get in too early. Okay, now let's go to my fast time frame. Okay, so keep an eye on my head and shoulders pattern. Okay, below 77 but above 86. I had support 86, I had to get through. Now we go over to the fast time frame now on the left side, and we took 3 back-to-back winners here, knowing exactly where we needed to be. We wanted to get below the head and shoulders pattern, but we also wanted to get below the 86 as well. Well, here's my 77. Here's my 86. We come down, right? At this point, we're starting to see lots of speed, big sellers, momentum confirming, right? We know right now, head and shoulders pattern's broken. If I can get below the 86, I'm looking gorgeous for a short trade here. Speed looks good. We got that. Broke below the swing low, right? There's your breaker pattern short. So our first trade here, 905 on crude, again, got below the 86s. We then watched for our pattern. Again, head and shoulders pattern sets up. I'm not going to take it right when it breaks the neckline there. I'm going to wait to get below the support, give it a little bit of room, right? Make sure we are truly going to break the downside, and then we go short. 80 was my fill, 2 off at 4, 1 off at 8, 1 off at 5 for 21 ticks or 210 USD. So the first trade of the morning put 200 bucks in change in our pocket. I then took another re-entry here as we kept coming down, another swing low here. Took another entry here for a breaker pattern short at 906, so 1 minute later. Okay, got my first target, second target, plus 4, 2 off at 4, right? 2 off at 6, that's 20 ticks or 200 USD. So guys, right when we break below the 86s, we see right away 2 opportunities. The first breaker short made us 21 ticks. The second breaker short made us 20 ticks. All right, so nice, easy 41 ticks. That's 400 USD, guys, in a matter of 2 trades. We weren't done there yet, though, guys, because what do we always think? Whenever we're testing the low of day, we're going to watch closely to see, is the speed slowing down? Are we seeing buyers entering the tape? If we see that stuff happening now, I'm thinking, watch out, big drop down, get ready for a big bounce back up. So I'm immediately now looking for a 2-step pattern short. So, of course, we bounce off the low of day here. We bounce off the low of day. We see the speed drop. We see the buyers into the tape. We see momentum begin to confirm right back to the upside here. We mark up our swing high. We break above that swing high, and there's your 2-step pattern long. 79 here was the fill. 2 off at 4, 2 off at 2. That's 12 ticks or 120 USD. So, guys, what a great example here. We saw a head and shoulders pattern set up. When the head and shoulders pattern broke, we knew exactly what to wait for. We waited below 86s. We got a breaker pattern short directly below it. We took a re-entry, okay, as well to add 41 ticks to our trade.